presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, tonight starts the last home series of the 2010 season. Tigers ace Justin Verlander will get the nod, looking for his 18th victory of the season tonight. He'll be matched up against Twins ace Francisco Liriano and the recently crowned Central Division champion Minnesota Twins. It is a beautiful night for baseball here in the Motor City as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Game one in this three-game weekend series featuring the Twins and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for the first of a three-game set here against the Twins. Hard to believe, Ron, but the home season finally coming to an end this weekend, and the Tigers will send Justin Verlander to the mound, his final home start of the season here. What a year it's been for him. It's kind of been a Cy Young type year for him once again this year.
If he ever gets off to a good start in the month of April, we will be talking about Verlander getting his first Cy Young. But for whatever reason, he's kind of stubbed his toe out of the gate, but he has been sensational lately. And one of the reasons why, you know about the fastball, you also know about the real good changeup, but his curveball has been that pitch that's kind of separated Verlander from other power pitchers. 17-8, you talked about the numbers, all the strikeouts. He's been absolutely lethal here at Comerica Park. He comes in 11-3 with a very good earned run average. He is simply worth the price of admission, and Tigers fans are going to get a chance to watch JV for the next several years. He's signed until after the 2014 season.
Well, here is why every year he is considered one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Look at this list. Since 2006, only Halladay and Sabathia have won more games than Verlander.
Well, it's not all about his stuff either. His mound presence and his composure and his tenacity, all these intangibles that he brings to the table every single fifth day, another reason why he is in that elite class of starting pitchers, in the major leagues.
All right, so the Tigers and Twins just moments away. In the meantime, we go back to the Call Sam Studios now with more on our coverage. Here's Mickey York. Bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. Here is the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins, presented tonight by Honda Bloomfield. Denard Span leads it off in center field, followed by Orlando Hudson and then Jason Kubel, the DH. Michael Gadire is at first base tonight. Delman Young having a whale of a season. He's in left field. Danny Valencia is at third. The bottom three, Jose Morales, Ben Revere, and Alexi Casilla. The pitching report tonight on Justin Verlander, presented by Scott's Lawn Pro.
Well, JV has simply been a workout horse the last 4 years. He has gone over 200 innings pitched in each of those seasons, and his curveball lately, his last 4 or 5 starts, Jim Leland said, has been one of the best curveballs he's seen Verlander with. And how about his last 8? He's won 5 of those, and the earned run average is a shade over 2.5. So JV is simply worth the price of admission these days.
So we are ready for baseball here tonight at the ballpark as we break open the final 3-game series of the home season here. The Minnesota Twins in town, fresh from winning the Central Division Championship. Denard Span will lead things off on an 81-degree night here in the Motor City. First pitch of the ball game is outside to Denard Span. It'll be Span, Hudson, and Kubel here in the first. Justin Verlander gunning for his 18th win. Here's the 1-0. That darts low. 2 balls and no strikes. Span is hitting .266. He has been somewhat of a Tiger killer in his career, although his numbers against the Tigers this year not quite as good, but still a very big menace. There is a strike call. 362 is awfully good.
Yeah, they were about 500 when the season started. That's how good Span had been in his brief career against Tigers pitching.
Ron Gardenhire and his crew celebrated again with another championship. There's a bouncer back up the middle. Sizemore coming in to make the play, and he throws it away. Way off the bag. And the leadoff man is on.
Let's take one more look at this play. As a middle infielder, when you know a guy like Span is running, you have to grab it and then flip it. You saw Sizemore took about 2 extra steps after getting that ball in his glove. Therefore, he threw off balance, and he threw from an arm angle, which allowed the ball to sail on him. And I don't know if they're going to give him an infield hit. I guess they are.
Yep, ruled it a base hit. So the leadoff man on, and that would be Span with his 23 stolen bases. Here is Orlando Hudson.
On that particular play, you want to try to time it while you're getting to the baseball, and also be thinking about how you're going to get that ball to first base with a guy that has the speed of Span. And those 2 extra steps that Sizemore had to take allowed Span to beat that ball out.
So Hudson batting .273 in the 2 slot for the Twins. Verlander again throwing back, paying a lot of attention to Span.
Teams have been running on Verlander a lot more this year than they have ran on him in his first few years in the major leagues. And the reason for that is he has a very quick move when he does go to first base, but for whatever reason, when he decides to go home, he's very deliberate, very slow, and base runners have been able to pick that up this year.
Missed it outside. 1-0 on Hudson. Tigers, of course, have a pretty good throwing catcher behind the plate, and that would be Gerald Laird tonight. He's getting the call. Laird at 36%. In fact, the Tigers' catching core period has been good this season. Both he and Avila. And Verlander missing again.
Opposing teams know if they're going to get to Verlander, they've got to get him early in games, because once he starts to settle in, he's very difficult to beat. And there you have it. First 3 innings, the earned run average is over 4. But once he gets past that, he starts rolling.
High fly ball left field. Ryan Rayburn is under it. That's the first out of the inning.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' defensive alignment here tonight. And, of course, it's always presented by the fine folks at Beaumont Hospitals. 160 double plays turned this year by the Tigers defensively, which ranks 3rd in the American League. That's pretty good.
And here's Jason Kubel. Kubel is hitting .252. Pretty good power numbers this year. He's had a good season against Detroit pitching as well.
He's a dead pull hitter, but when Verlander shows up throwing 95 to 96, sometimes guys that are dead pull hitters, they can't catch up to that fastball, so they simply drive the ball the opposite way.
Kubel is one of those guys that can hit into a double play and will. He has knocked into 16 this year. They are without Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau are the Twins. Mauer has been suffering from a sore knee, and Morneau has been out since July the 7th with a concussion. So they want to get Mauer ready to go for the playoffs.
They don't think they're going to get Morneau back, but you're absolutely right. They have to get Mauer healthy and as close to 100% as they possibly can.
0-2 on Kubel.
That was a big swing on a big fastball.
Kubel against the Tigers, .333 this year. Verlander gave up the infield hit with one out. Kubel is up there, and he fouls one back. Jim Leyland has often talked about this Twins team, and everybody talks about their pitching and defense, but he maintains this is a team that has some offensive players that not too many people pay attention to. Guys like Kubel and Kadire and Delman Young.
When you dive into their numbers, that point is very much validated.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
And they have one of the best managers in the game.
801 victories for Ron Gardenhire. Kubel waiting on a 1-2 pitch, and instead back to first goes Verlander.
Well, Verlander's doing a nice job, at least while Hudson was at the plate, and so far through the first 3 pitches to Kubel at keeping Span there and keeping that double play in order.
Swing and a miss. He couldn't hold up, and Kubel is out number 2 and strikeout number 1 for Justin.
That is the curveball that I was talking about when I was talking about the pitching report on Verlander. The curveball that he's been featuring for about the last 10 starts or so has had tremendous depth and has had a lot of run to it. It's just been a great pitch for Verlander.
So with 2 outs, here is Kadire batting in the cleanup slot tonight. And he takes ball 1 up high. Kadire is hitting .272. Then he also has had good numbers this year against the Tigers. A couple of homers, as a matter of fact. Tipped into the glove, 1-1. In his Twins career, Kadire has played all over the place. He's played third, he's played the outfield, he's played first. Of course, it was his bat last September with Morneau out with injury that really propelled them into a shot at getting even with the Tigers and eventually winning that final game. That one a little bit closer, but Span gets back. Denard has been caught only 4 times this year to go with his 23 steals. One and 2. Verlander has been awfully good here at home. In fact, he has 11 home wins this year, which establishes a single season record at Comerica Park for a pitcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But when you look at his overall numbers at Comerica Park, 46 wins.
This is a really good park to pitch in. And then when you add in the kind of stuff that Verlander has, you get 26 games over 500 in his career here at Comerica Park.
3-2 on Michael Kadire.
Kadire's done a very nice job of laying off those last couple of changeups by Verlander after the first 3 pitches were fastballs up in the strike zone to Michael Kadire.
Runner goes on 3-2, and it's a bouncing ball to second. Routine play there for Sizemore. And the inning is over, so nothing comes of the leadoff infield hit. My big boy tonight, and as usual, Austin Jackson leads it off in center field, followed by Scott Sizemore, then Ryan Rayburn. Cabrera cleans up. You've got Peralta at short, Wells in right. Then your bottom three is Bosch, Inge, and Laird. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Francisco Liriano. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, when they get to the postseason, Ron Gardenhire has said that Francisco Liriano will get the ball first for his ball club.
The line drive to second, caught by Hudson.
And the reason for that, he's been simply dominant since the All-Star break. He's 8-1, and that loss came in his last start. And his earned run average is just a shade over 2.5. And he, like Verlander, also struggles a little bit in that very first inning. He's given up 20 of his 70 runs in the very first inning this year.
Well, that first pitch was scalded by Jackson, but righted Hudson. Here's Scott Sizemore.
The Tigers have done a nice job against Liriano this year. As good as he has given up quite a few hits to the Tigers and quite a few earned runs. And one of the reasons for that is they've been able to jump on him very early in games.
Liriano's ERA career against the Tigers 4.74, so he has been anything but dominant against Detroit. You see the breakdown in wins and no decisions, and in losses, the ERA in losses way up there over 12. That's driven hard to right field, hit well. Revere going back, turns on it, and that ball is off the top of the wall. Sizemore heading to second, dives in with a double. So a couple of hard-hit balls against Liriano to start this one.
And so far, it looks like the game plan is the one that they've had against him in games where they've been able to get to him, and that's simply not trying to pull the fastballs. Jackson hit a seed to second base for an out, and then Sizemore hits the ball off of the gate in the outfield and really had to hustle to get a sliding double. I did not know that Scott Sizemore had that kind of power the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's what they say in the minor leagues. That's what one of the things this kid displayed. But we just didn't see much of it early in the season.
We did not.
They feel because of his bad ankle. Ryan Rayburn looks at a strike. Rayburn in the 3 spot tonight, 3 for 11 in the just completed series against the Royals. 1 home run, 5 RBIs this year against Twins pitching. Waving a miss, 0-2.
Stuff-wise, for a left-handed pitcher in the major leagues, Liriano is right up there in the top 5. His fastball is explosive in the mid-90s. He's got that swing and miss slider. And he also has a real nice changeup. He has 3 above-average major league pitches.
And it finally appears that he is all the way back from the Tommy John surgery. You remember what he was like before that surgery?
In 06.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
He was very good. Then he missed the entire 2007 season, and you nailed it. In the last couple of years, he's just kind of figured out some things. But he is very, very talented. He's got the kind of stuff that will allow you to go deep in the postseason if you've got a guy like Liriano that gets into the postseason hot and pitching well.
Here's the 1-2. On one hop, knocked down by Hudson. And his throw in time for the out.
Did he really get him?
Bob Davidson looked like he wanted to call him safe. It was kind of an in-between call, and Rayburn can't believe it. I think he wanted to call him safe, but called him out.
This ball was knuckling on Hudson. He got a break to the left. The ball trickled back to his right, but he was able to knock it down. He picked it up with a bare hand, and he threw it over there, and Rayburn is so safe that it's not even close.
No.
I mean, that's just not a good call by Bob Davidson. Not at all.
Oh. Well, we don't know what was said, but Jim Leland went out, and I would guess that maybe Davidson said, you know what, I missed that one. Let's move on. Runner holding at second, 2 gone. So Liriano gets a break. That'll bring up Cabrera. He cuts and misses 0-1. Miguel with 120 RBIs. Really good numbers this year against the Twins. He's knocked in 13 with 3 long balls this year. And Liriano has not intimidated him at all in his career either. Cut it to miss, 0-2.
A couple of real nice sliders to Cabrera. There has not been many pitchers in the National League or in the American League that have intimidated the big fella. He has gotten off to a wonderful, brilliant career.
3 for 9 in that series against KC. And the 0-2. That one bounces in there. Good stop by Morales. Sizemore with a 1-out double. He's still standing there with 2 outs. Liriano this year was the American League's pitcher of the month in April. He got off to a 3-0 start. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera this year has walked 87 times, which is the 4th highest total in the American League. We talk about all his intentional walks. His numbers across the board have been impressive from day one. Ooh. Wow. Ooh. Liriano with a look in there on home plate umpire Tim Timmons.
It appeared to me that Cabby might have been looking for that 5th consecutive slider, and he took a fastball that could have very easily been called strike 3.
Instead, it's 3-2. Now time called, and Morales, to get on the same page now, runs out to the mound.
Well, it's good that a young catcher would do this. He just wants to make sure that they don't make a mistake here. He wants to make sure that whatever pitch he puts down, and Liriano has the confidence in throwing it. Everything has been down, off the plate, and that 5th pitch, I thought looked closer than what it's saying, but who am I?
3-2 pitch. And he got him, strike 3. Cabrera thought it was high. Not so. Tigers get a double, strand a man. It's 1849. Comcast, call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. And buy the new Ultimate 50-50 raffle from the Michigan Lottery. The current jackpot is at least $830,000. No Justice performing Tigers Live pregame today. And here at the ballpark. And the Tigers and Twins getting together here for Game 1 of this series as Delman Young leads it off in the second. Verlander missing inside on Young. He'll be followed by Valencia and then Morales. And Delman Young has 105 driven in this year, which is the 5th highest total in the American League. Right off the mask of the catcher, Laird. 1-1.
He's obviously comfortable in Minnesota these days. 18 home runs, .299 batting average. It appears they made the right choice when they sent the youngster Gomez to the Milwaukee Brewers in the offseason to open up and pave the way for Delman to play every day.
I know we've said this before, but I really thought that Gomez kid was going to be a really good player for them for a long time.
He still has the chance to be a really good player. And it does Gomez. But take a look at the numbers. 45 RBIs a year ago today for Delman.
Fouled back out of play. 2-2 on Young. The younger brother of Dimitri Young. Delman putting it all together this season. There's Valencia waiting on deck. And then Jose Morales here in the Twins' second inning. Breaking ball and a beauty from Verlander. His second strikeout of the night.
One of the things that makes Verlander so tough, once he gets ahead of you with 2 strikes, now you have to protect against not only the fastball, but the curve, the slider, and the changeup, and decide which one you're going to get. And the tilt on that and the depth on that breaking ball is tremendous.
So with that strikeout, his second of the night, that gives him 200 for the season, which is the second consecutive year that he's reached that plateau. He led the league last year with 269.
I've noticed the last couple of starts for Verlander, he's come out throwing 95, 96, 97 in the very first inning, whereas some of his starts, he stays right around 92. And then he reaches back to get up to 95 whenever he has to do so. He must feel awfully strong these days with one more start to go.
Another breaking ball into beauty. It's a strike. By the way, the last Tiger to go back-to-back 200 strikeout seasons, it was Jack Morris, former teammate of yours, in '86 and '87.
He was an ultimate competitor, and just like Verlander.
There's that breaking ball again, and Valencia was no match. 3 strikeouts now for JB, 2 gone.
And let's take a look at it in Lincoln Mercury Exmo. Something you may not know as far as that curveball, Verlander does not use the seams on the baseball when he throws that curveball. He simply throws it from the white part of the ball, I guess I should say. No seams. No seams. Most guys use seams to get break on their breaking ball, but he doesn't need the seams for his.
I would think that everybody threw it that way.
And the reason for that, for Verlander, is when he first came to the big leagues back in '06, he said all the baseballs in the big leagues were hard. He used the seams, and he continued to get blisters on his middle finger. So he had to teach himself how to throw it without the seams, and you're seeing the results of that breaking ball.
Jose Morales, the batter. 95 up at the letters that time, 1-2. It's kind of amazing that he could get the same torque without using the seams on the breaking ball. And it has been a tremendous pitch for him here tonight. And that was easy. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball to take care of Morales. He strikes out the side. 4 for the game.
let's take a look at the pitches that he used. It was a breaking ball to Young, also a breaking ball to Valencia. He had no chance, and then he just blew Morales away with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
An impressive start for Justin Verlander. Now Liriano goes back to the mound as we head to the bottom of the second. Johnny Peralta leads it off for Detroit, and Liriano misses high with a breaking ball, 1-0. Peralta with 14 home runs this year, half of which have come in a Tigers uniform. And he bounces one toward third. Valencia plays the hop. One out. It's going to bring up Casper Wells. Well, this young man has acquitted himself quite well here in the month of September after being called up. He's shown some pop in his bat.
He really has. He's got good bat speed. Appears to be in the right frame of mind these days. And the Tigers have always thought very highly of Casper, but he didn't have a good batting average in the minor leagues this year, but he got hot at the right time. They called him up, and he has stayed hot.
Well, he has made himself a candidate. Jim Leyland said as much before the game today in terms of next year. It certainly all depends on what happens in free agency and how this team will take shape next spring. But a lot of guys have made themselves candidates going into camp.
Well, it should be a fun spring training for Jim and his staff. It's always fun when you have guys competing for jobs. And what I mean by that is not all the jobs are taken. It's a boring spring training when you come to camp and you know the exact 25-man roster, but there's a lot of guys that will be fighting for jobs.
Sizemore will be involved in that second base battle, you would assume. 2-1 on Wells. Make it 2-2.
That's a good pitch. And when you know a guy's a good fastball hitter and you fall behind 2 balls and 1 strike, if you can pull the string on a breaking ball as Liriano does there, you can get a swing and miss.
Grounded foul. Tigers, of course, have announced their winter ball assignments. Casper Wells will be playing some winter ball.
Puerto Rico.
Frazier and Santiago playing in the Dominican Republic. So is Weinhardt. He's going to Puerto Rico. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Liriano has a strikeout, his second. Leland was saying that obviously one of the big things they want Wells to do in winter ball is to face really good competition, really good pitching. Well, that's, I guess, the only way you can get better.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And they also just want him to continue to do what he has done here in the month of September. And when he goes down to winter ball, I don't know if they plan on him staying the entire couple of months down there, if they just want him to get 1 month under his belt and come back home.
Bosch the batter. 14 home runs for Brennan in his rookie season.
And he is the only left-handed bat tonight in Jim Leyland's lineup against Liriano. And the reason for that is Brennan's had a very nice year this year against left-handed pitching.
It's also 3 for 5 against Liriano. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Bosch. Boy, look at the wind tonight. It is howling out toward left field. There's a strike call. In fact, it was windy all day today. Coming in, it was tough keeping the car in the correct lane.
Tough keeping your car clean too. That car you have stays clean. You wash it every day?
No.
This thing is clean.
You just catch it on the right days, apparently. 3-2. Bosch hitting here with 2 outs in the second. No score. Tigers only hit a double by Sizemore back in the first. They couldn't get him in, though. And a swing and a miss, and Bosch goes down. Third strikeout for Liriano. 1-2-3 go to Tigers. Sports Detroit is brought to you by your Detroit area Volkswagen dealers. Visit DetroitVWDealers.com. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Hey, by the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game tonight using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 37338. That's FSDET. Well, despite the wind here tonight, it is a beautiful evening here. The temperature's in the upper 70s. And hopefully a good weekend. The final home weekend of the season.
And some folks got their hunting caps on.
They're ready to go. Weather's supposed to be cooling down the next couple of days, but a gorgeous evening here at the ballpark.
Yeah, it's 80 here tonight. It's only supposed to be in the 60s tomorrow. The next couple of days, as a matter of fact.
Here is Ben Revere, the rookie. He's 3 for 15 this year. And he hits a one-hopper to the second baseman, Sizemore.
Hey fans, our new edition of Tigers Weekly here. Personal stories from Justin Verlander, Rick Porcello, Austin Jackson, and Ryan Rayburn about their various journeys to make it to the big leagues. Tigers Weekly tomorrow morning at 11:30 here on Fox Sports Detroit. That ought to be interesting.
It's going to be great, I think. You know, some journeys are longer than others, and some are more interesting than others. That should be a great show. There's a strike called on Alexi Casilla. Casilla batting .279. $15 RBIs this year. He backs out of there and takes one inside 1-1. Alexi playing shortstop in this one tonight. Bouncing ball right side. Sizemore has another opportunity. And there are 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thank you. Here it is scoreless as we play in the third. 2 outs for Denard Span. Lofted to center field, base hit, so Span has the only 2 hits tonight for Minnesota. Verlander had retired 8 straight before that. Now Orlando Hudson.
When Span was on first base in the first inning, he did not attempt to steal second, which meant Verlander was doing a very nice job of varying his times toward getting the ball to Laird. He could not get a good jump to steal second base. We'll see what he's thinking here. Scott Olger going through some signs down in the third base box. Number 45. It's been on Ron Gardenhire's staff since Gardenhire took over. Just as the majority of his staff. They've been together a long time. And it's a good staff.
And there's something to be said about continuity.
Scotty was an outstanding minor league manager, too. There were some that thought that he was going to be a good big league skipper.
The 0-1. Blocked by Laird. 1 ball, 1 strike on Orlando Hudson.
O-Dog doing a little tap dancing up there.
Orlando is 0 for 1 with a fly ball.
He was a nice pickup in the offseason by Bill Smith, their general manager. And one of the best second basemen at picking up the baseball and getting it to first base in the game. He's won several Gold Gloves.
1-2.
They also added J.J. Hardy, their shortstop, who's not playing tonight, and they added the big bat of Jim Thome. They didn't add many guys, but the guys that they added, real nice pieces.
And then they went out and added some pieces this year mid-season.
Back into that bullpen.
So times are changing in Minnesota with a brand new ballpark and a fresh revenue stream. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Tag. He is safe.
You'll get a chance to see exactly what Spann saw here in Verlander's delivery. This time it was a little bit slower, a little bit more deliberate. The leg went all the way up, and that's the reason why Spann was able to steal that base. In previous pitches, Verlander's leg did not go up that high, and that's what the opposing base runners have been able to read on occasion from Justin when he goes to that high leg kick.
Steal number 24 is a career high for Denard Spann. Again, down to block it goes Laird. 3-2. Jason Kubel waiting on deck. Ground ball right side. Cabrera on the backhand. Verlander covers for the out. No runs to hit. One left. We go to the bottom of the third.
American League on display here tonight in Liriano and Verlander, and Liriano has 3 in this game as well as Verlander's 4. And Liriano with a breaking ball, changeup, and then another slider to get his 3 punch outs.
So Liriano back to the hill as we go to the bottom of the third. Brandon Inge leads it off. And for the Tigers, Inge to be followed by Laird and then Jackson.
That's what makes guys like Verlander and Liriano special, is even if they fall behind, it's not a given that they're going to give you a fastball on that very next pitch. That was a 1-0 changeup there to Brandon that was located beautifully. And we've watched Verlander do that the majority of the year. Just because you're in a fastball count against a fastball pitcher doesn't mean that these guys are going to give you that fastball, whereas other power pitchers that don't have the secondary stuff, they will give you the off-speed fastball in that count. He did it again.
Well, yeah, there's another example, a 2-1 breaking ball. 2-2.
And there's really nothing you can do as a hitter. You can't go up there looking for a breaking ball in a fastball count.
Grounded foul. Inge at 251. He's hit 11 homers this season.
Brandon Inge is a free agent after this season, and there has not been a whole lot of talk as to whether he will be back as a Tiger or not.
The 2-2. They want the appeal. He did not go. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I think Brandon's preference obviously would be to stay here in Detroit. He lives in the Detroit area year-round now with his family. Swing and a miss. Couldn't hold up there. Liriano picks up his 4th strikeout.
These guys are nasty here tonight. Both of them, really.
This is what I think sets Liriano apart from the rest of the guys in their rotation. The pure stuff that he has and his strikeout ability.
That is why Ron Gardenhire has named him as the Game 1 starter once they get to the division series. I guess they'll be playing either the Yankees or the Tampa Bay Rays. One of the two.
Two very good teams. And Joe Mauer, they're hoping will be back soon. He is probably not going to play this weekend. They want to make sure that his knee is good to go and they need him. And this is one bat that they desperately need in their lineup.
I saw Mauer when we were in Chicago last week, and they were playing a game that night, and we had a day off, which was Thursday. He was going to the ballpark at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, Joe, what are you doing? Where are you going? He said, I got to get this body ready to play. He says, I am aching. I've got to get to the ballpark so I can get worked on just so I can play a game at 7. He was going to the ballpark at 1 o'clock.
This time of the year, all the bumps and bruises start to pile up. He had an MRI on Tuesday on that sore knee, and the good news was there was no structural damage, just some mild inflammation, which obviously the Twins were ecstatic to hear. Laird fouls it away. 1-2, the count stays. Gerald Laird is hitting .207. Trying to get something started here with 1 out in the 3rd. The only Tigers hit, a double by Sizemore in the 1st inning. There's a line drive to left, base hit. They have their 2nd hit. Laird thinking 2. There he goes. Here comes the throw, and he is in there with a double.
Pretty good at bat here. Not a bad pitch by Laird on the bottom of the strike zone, but Laird caught it out in front and hit a seed down toward left field that Delman couldn't get up and get him at 2nd.
Gerald Laird safe at 2nd base. Safe and secure, New York life. Here's Austin Jackson. Only 1 out of the inning. Tigers have a chance to get a run now. And the way these two guys are pitching, Liriano and Verlander, offense at a premium tonight. Austin hit a ball hard his first time up, a line out right at Orlando Hudson. That's hit to 3rd. Valencia on a tough hop. He's had a couple of those plays tonight. 2 gone.
Austin has hit 2 bullets and nothing to show for it so far.
Here's Sizemore. Swing and a miss. Well, Scott Sizemore, did you hear the story about his high school teacher? Michael Kadyr's wife was actually the high school teacher for Scott Sizemore, 10th grade teacher. His wife, Claudia.
Really?
Yeah, taught Mr. Sizemore in high school. They're both from the Virginia area. So Kadir, who's becoming a Gristle vet now, has been around a while. And, of course, Sizemore's still a very young player.
I wonder if that's making Kadir feel a little older here these days.
So, one of his wife's students, and he's playing against him on the same field. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sizemore. Morales catching tonight in place of Joe Mauer. Laird has doubled. He's still standing there with 2 gone. That missed outside, 2-1. Sizemore has hit 3 home runs in the big leagues this year. He's knocked in 14. It's been an up and down season for him, literally, between Toledo and Detroit. But I think we are seeing closer to the product that we thought we were going to see at the beginning of the year, because Sizemore has finally, I think, felt healthy for the first time.
Well, he'll go into spring training with another opportunity to take hold of that second base position. They gave it to him this year, and he lost it because of injury. He'll get another opportunity.
In the shallow right field. And Revere for the out. Side retired. No runs, a double. 1 man left. Kubel, Kadire, Young coming up. For this one here tonight, since 1961, when the Twins moved to Minnesota, who is the fastest Twin to reach 1,000 hits? That's a good question.
Since 1961. Well, is it Kadire?
Well, you know how that goes when they show a shot of somebody.
That's not it?
No, it's never him.
Is it Mauer?
It could be Mauer. Puckett, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe Herbeck.
They had some good ones.
Well, we'll give you the answer in a little bit. Here's Kubel. Strike 1 on Kubel. He'll be followed by Kadire and then Young in a scoreless game, 4th inning.
It's a nice pitch right there, change up. First pitch, change up to Kubel after his first time up. A couple of fastballs at the top of the strike zone.
0-2.
He's got them all working. Haven't seen the slider yet from Verlander, but we've seen the fastball, the curve, and the change.
He struck out Kubel on a breaking ball back in the first inning, one of his 4 strikeouts so far. Here's the 0-2. Another breaking ball, this one grounded foul. Kubel has hit 7 grand slams, did a couple of them this year, and in fact one of them was off Mariano Rivera, which has to be the highlight of his season so far. Anytime you can hit a grand slam to win a game off of a guy like Rivera, who is probably going to the Hall of Fame. Swing and a miss. Verlander dispatches of him again. 5 strikeouts.
Verlander also gives you a very fast body. Look at the body here and how fast the body is and the deception that he has with that pitch, then running out of there. As a hitter, you think it's a fastball because of the aggressive body coming towards you, and then he throws that breaking ball up there at all of 82 miles an hour.
Here's Michael Kadire. Ball 1 to Kadire.
You're telling that story about Kadire's wife being Sizemore's 10th grade teacher. Kadire said he also played a lot of baseball against Sizemore's older brother.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There's a bouncer to Scott Sizemore. See, this is symmetry right here.
Yeah.
2 gone. We planned it that way. That area of Virginia where both Sizemore and Kadire are from has really produced quite a bit of talent. Brian Zimmerman, the Upton brothers, just to name a few.
Verlander, too.
Oh, Verlander, yeah. Here's Delman Young. He had a rip 0-1.
He sure did have a good rip.
Each team with 2 hits, neither team able to break through yet. Driven foul. 0-2 on Delman. I was looking up Young's walk numbers. We were talking about this before the game. Did you know that last year he walked only 12 times?
That's not a whole lot.
And this year, he's more than double that at 26, but still, that's not a whole lot.
He's improving.
The on-base percentage is better this year. The numbers all across the board are better.
He has done most of his damage in the clutch this year when they've needed him most. .361 batting average with runners in scoring position for Delman Young coming into the game tonight.
The Bender is fouled back.
And if you go back and look at Delman Young's last year, September, and the couple of days that we play in October, and you add it up this year, there's very few that have had that kind of season from September to September.
Yeah, it's not just this year. He really got hot toward the end of last year and just never stopped. Swing and a miss. Verlander strikes him out. That is 6 strikeouts for Justin Verlander. 1, 2, 3. Go to Twins. '61 when the Twins moved to Minnesota. Who was the fastest Twin to 1,000 hits? And it would be Kirby Puckett,
the Hall of Famer.
1,000 hits in 750 games. What a player he was.
He was a good bad ball hitter. He went from the shoe tops to literally the bill of the cap. And he could hit everything.
Rayburn leading it off. And he hits one back up the middle into center field. Base hit. That'll bring up Cabrera.
The last time Cabrera was up, the first 3 pitches to him and from Liriano were 3 sliders. Let's see what he wants to do to Cabrera this time around. And he struck him out on a slider on a 3-2 pitch.
3 hits for the Tigers. They've had a couple of doubles and a single now. Cabrera fouls one off. Miguel has 173 hits this year. .35 of which have been home run balls.
If he had any speed whatsoever, he'd be a perennial 200 hit per season guy.
Hammers that one back out of play. 0-2. Well, when you talk to Miguel about MVP or you talk to Austin Jackson about Rookie of the Year, they both will tell you that obviously they just want to finish up strong. Whatever happens, happens. But you know that both of these guys are really hoping that they can snag those awards. What a nice capper it would be for both of them for this season. High, towering fly ball hit deep to left field. Young going back. Did he get enough? He did. It's gone. A home run. Number 36 for Cabrera.
It's one of the things that makes Cabrera so tough to get out on occasion. Here's our bell tire pitch by pitch. This time he attacked him with hard stuff in, but take a look at him pull his hands inside on this 0-2 pitch. He is some kind of good to pull his hands in and get it up in that jet stream, which allowed that ball to carry into the Tigers bullpen.
And Liriano doesn't give up home runs. That is just the 6th home run he has given up all year.
Take a look at the hands, how close they get to the body. It's almost like a panic swing, and he just kind of uppercuts it. And he knew as soon as he hit it, with the wind blowing out as aggressively to left as it is here tonight, that he got it. Take a look at him right here. Alligator arms.
Very select company for home runs this year against Liriano. Only 5 before that, so Cabrera gets him to give the Tigers the lead.
Well, if Jackson's not the Rookie of the Year and Cabrera's not the MVP, they ought to investigate.
Here's Johnny Peralta. He is 0 for 1. That also gives Miguel 122 RBIs. Saw that Bautista hit his 50th last night.
Saw that.
So he's saying, don't forget about me. And there's a walk.
Take a look at the hands here of Cabrera and how close they get to the body. He's going to start out looking away, but now all of a sudden he sees the ball start to come in, and that elbow. The elbow is the key. He pulls the elbow real close to the right side, and that just kind of gets that bat through the strike zone.
Here's Casper Wells. Swing and a miss. Wells a strikeout victim back in the second. Still nobody out here. The first 3 Tigers reach in the bottom of the 4th. Two runs on 4 Tigers hits. Swing and a miss again. 1-2. Cabrera, by the way, is now just 1 home run shy of his career high in homers, which is 37. He established that in 2008, and it looks like Liriano now is going to draw a crowd out of the mound. They don't like the looks of something. Rick Anderson is out there with the trainer. They don't want to take any chances with him.
Here's a couple of pitches to go. And that's what pitching coaches get paid to do, and that's to watch every move by their starting pitcher while they're on that mound. And apparently Rick Anderson saw something that told him that he was just not quite right. And this is a lengthy discussion. Gardenhire's like, okay, what's up?
Yeah, and then here comes the skipper now. Kind of thinking, why is he not out there? But here he comes.
You would have to think that for him to spend that much time out there with their star pitcher, that they're entertaining the thought of him coming out of this game.
I think you're right. He'll be their #1 starter for the playoffs. And Liriano right now doesn't appear to be very convincing in terms of staying in this game, and there he goes. So Liriano will leave this game here in the 4th. The Twins have just been bothered by so many nagging injuries.
Well, let's just hope that that one's not a serious injury to Liriano. He's slated to be their #1 starter once they get to the postseason.
And this is what it's probably going to look like, all things considered, if there are no problems with injuries for the playoffs.
In top 4, they won't need Blackburn in the division series. Even if it goes deep, they would come back around to Liriano and Pavano. So Blackburn more than likely will be pitching out of the bullpen. Don't know for sure, but that's usually what teams do.
So Jeff Manship comes trotting in an emergency here. It's a wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back. The Minnesota Twins, Francisco Liriano has been taken out of this game with an apparent injury. And Jeff Manship will be coming in.
11th game now for Manship. He has 2 wins, no losses. He has a very good earned run average in the 24 2/3 innings that he has pitched. The majority of his season has been spent down in AAA.
Up and down several times this year, Manship. And so he will probably take a little bit of time here to get ready. The Twins, trying to balance staying healthy and getting guys healthy and going for the best record, which is going to be something that is going to be a kind of a juggle for Gardenhire.
Well, first and foremost, he will want to make sure that his team is healthy once they get to the postseason. If they do happen to have the best record, that's just a bonus for them, but they've got to be at full strength. And once they get to the postseason, especially with the 2 teams that they may have to play, either the Yankees or the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, the new shortstop now, Trevor Plouffe, is in. They have taken Casilla out of the game.
Liriano got off to a real good start, which is what he hasn't done against the Tigers in the majority of his starts this year. He had 4 strikeouts early with all his pitches. Stuff was explosive. But then Cabrera got him on an 0-2 pitch. It was a fastball inside that Cabbie pulled his hands in nicely on. And then after throwing a couple of pitches to Wells, Rick Anderson, their pitching coach, noticed something was not quite right, and that led to his departure.
Tigers 2 runs, 4 hits. The Twins no runs on 2 hits. And as Manship continues to tune up, we'll talk about some news and notes going on around the big leagues. We're talking about Jose Bautista with homer number 50 this season. Ichiro collecting 200 hits for 10 straight years now, and that kind of went under the radar with the 50th homer from Bautista.
He is only the second player in the history of the game to have 10 200 hit seasons. The other was Pete Rose, but Pete didn't do it in consecutive seasons. Ichiro did it in his first 10 seasons in the big leagues.
Really impressive. Wainwright winning his 20th for the Cards.
Hey fans, while we got a moment, let me tell you that deposits are now being accepted for Tigers 2011 full and partial season ticket plans. Call today at 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com.
And as we look ahead to 2011, here are some of the key dates next year. Of course, the Tigers will be opening up at Yankee Stadium against New York. The home opener will be April 8th against the Royals, and interleague play will feature those teams right there. Trips out west to San Francisco, or I should say coming in San Francisco and Arizona, a couple of West Coast teams.
Yeah, we head out to Colorado.
That's good.
Yes, it's a nice venue.
Well, here's Wells now facing Manship, and he bounces the first one foul. Inheriting the count of 1-2. Bosch will be next. 2-run homer by Cabrera. A difference in this one so far. Rolled foul again. Casper struck out against the starter Liriano back in the second. One of 4 strikeouts that Liriano posted before departing. Bouncing ball to short. Should be 2. There's 1. Hudson's relay is a double play. 6-4-3. And the bases are empty, so Manship comes out of the pen and gets a twin killing. We'll bring up Bosch. Brennan Fan back in the second, his only time up so far. Fouled straight back. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brennan. Manship hails from San Antonio, Texas. The 1-1. Manship in his high school days threw 4 no-hitters. One of them was a perfect game.
4 no-hitters in high school?
In high school.
Gee.
He was 22-2 with an 0.64 ERA. That's really pretty good at any level.
Dominant.
Speaking of dominant, how about their bullpen? Since September the 11th, in 35 1/3 innings, an ERA of 0.76.
Every year. Every single year. Their bullpen is outstanding.
Bosch gets a walk. 2-out base runner that keeps the inning going for Brandon Inge.
Tom Brookins, first base coach, will take his stopwatch out of his pocket and put it in his right hand, and he will try to see if he can get a gauge on manship. Nope, not the stopwatch this time. Maybe he already knows.
Runner goes.
And they did know.
Throw is high into center field. Bosch, coming up a little bit late because of the headfirst dive, could not advance.
That's part of game preparation. They already knew if certain guys came into a game, they could steal a base on certain guys, and apparently Manship was one of those guys, and Bosch picked a tremendous pitch to run on. It was a breaking ball at the top of the strike zone that the second baseman Hudson could not get up and elevate to keep from going into center field.
7th stolen base for Bosch. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Brandon. He wasn't so sure about that last call. Inge, a strikeout victim his first time up. And the 0-2. That's popped up. Right side of the infield. To the grass goes Kadire to make the play. And the side retired. Tigers take the lead, though. They do so on Miguel Cabrera's 36th home run of the year. Your neighborhood Spartan store. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. Well, the Tigers have a 2-0 lead. Francisco Liriano is out of the game, and Justin Verlander has given up just 2 hits so far in this one. He has struck out 6. Miguel Cabrera's 2-run shot has given the Tigers the lead. And we've received word that Liriano and Casilla both leaving because they both were feeling ill.
That's the best news the Minnesota Twins could have gotten on Liriano and Casilla.
Well, we'll see if Verlander now can hold on to this lead here. Still a long way to go. 2-0 in favor of Detroit. And here is Danny Valencia to lead it off. Valencia, Morales, and Revere. JV has been throwing that breaking ball quite a bit tonight. He missed with that one, 1-0. Valencia is 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second. They told us it was going to be the temperature was going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow, but we've gone from the 80s down to 70 degrees now. Temperature plummeting a little bit. Here's the 1-1. Back a second, and Sizemore reaches back there for the out. One gone.
A pretty good fastball here in the hands of Valencia, and looked like Sizemore kind of got tied up there momentarily, but still showed some athleticism enough to make that play.
Here's Morales. Morales struck out back in the second. Right at the knees, a strike called at 95 miles an hour from Verlander. Morales has now spent parts of 10 seasons in the minor leagues. He's been up and down the last couple of years. But it took a while for Morales to get his first shot. There's another strike, 2-2.
It's a nice story. Perseverance. When you have a dream, you continue to strive to reach that dream. And Morales is playing in the big leagues.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Verlander dusts him off. That'll be his 7th strikeout.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. You'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, the players, plus we'll break down the game, show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit. And it's also looking like we might hear from Verlander as well. Some post-game comments.
Here's Ben Revere. You may notice Revere is wearing that extra piece of plastic that comes off of his helmet. He was hit. Recently missed 22 games. He was hit by a pitch in the face, so he has that extra protection that's been riveted onto his helmet. Little chopper hit to the right side. Verlander can't quite get there, so he'll go to first, and he is safe. Boy, Revere can run. And he is aboard with a 2-out infield hit.
If Verlander had gone straight to the bag here on this play without trying to lunge for this ball, they may have gotten the out. They may have gotten the out. But once he redirected and tried to get back to first base, he had a tough time trying to catch that ball and find the bag at the same time. But it's such a tough play, and Verlander is such an athlete on the mound that there's nothing that hits back in his direction that he doesn't go for.
2-out base runner. It looked like Cabrera as well was having trouble getting something on that throw. And with the speed of Revere, he is aboard now, and here is Trevor Plouffe.
Well, with 2 outs and the speed that the youngster Revere does have, more than likely he'll be on the move.
36 stolen bases this year in the minor leagues. Plouffe getting his first at bat. Casilla was taken out of this game because he was feeling ill. Plouffe was recalled from Rochester September the 1st, was hitting .244 there. And he takes ball 2. Plouffe was called up originally in August, had an 0 for 18 stretch, and then hit his first major league home run off Fausto Carmona of the Indians. 2-1. Oh, that's close. Revere gets back.
Quick move, quick feet by Verlander. If that throws down, they got a real good shot at getting Revere.
Opposing runners with Verlander on the mound at 77%. That one missed, and now it's 3-1 on Trevor Plouffe. Denard Span waiting on deck. He would be next. Tigers gave Verlander a 2-0 lead in the home run by Cabrera in the bottom of the fourth. That's popped up, heading back toward the seats. Cabrera will run out of room. On top of the dugout.
That last delivery with Revere on first base, Verlander didn't care whether he was running or not. He got to a real nice balance point, and he made sure that he threw this pitch for a strike. This is when Verlander's at his best, when he gets to that type of balance point, which allows the arm to catch up, and he throws straight downhill. He was not concerned at all with the possible stolen base on that last delivery.
Got him that time, and Revere can't believe it.
He was running.
Picked him off. Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
The count is 3-2, which means he's running on the play. And Verlander with one of those snap throws over, but it looked like he got back. It looked like that right hand is on the bag, and the tag is applied by Cabrera, but yet called out by Bob Davidson, the first base umpire.
So the Tigers appear to get a break there as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Manship back to the hill after taking over for Francisco Liriano. First pitch home to Gerald Laird is in for a strike, 0-1. Laird and then Jackson and then Sizemore. Tigers opening up a 3-game weekend series here. It'll be their final 3 home games of the year. There's another strike, and it's 0-2.
Manship not overpowered. And fastball very seldom gets to 90 miles an hour. He'll sink it, he'll run it, little change up, a couple different breaking balls, and throws lots of strikes. But what's new for most Minnesota Twins pitchers?
Look out.
You saw Morales put the number 1 sign down and then motion with his glove for Manship to throw that ball up in the strike zone, but it got away from Manship and it sailed inside on Laird.
Two and two. Breaking ball, and he stays alive. Manship pitched his college ball at Notre Dame. Pitcher of the year in the Big East Conference as well when he was at Notre Dame. 2-2 on Laird.
The fourth pitch of this at bat, he went to 92 with a fastball that missed away against Laird. Everything else has been under 90 miles an hour, but all fastballs with the exception of one.
And he went around. One away. Hey, reminder to stay tuned for Tiger Live postgame when you can watch the Tigers' favorite replay moments voted on by the fans. So stick around for that.
Pretty good chance this cat may be part of that.
Austin is 0 for 2. A line out and a ground out tonight for Jackson. Those two at bats against the starter Liriano. Good breaking ball there. Jackson has given the Tigers many highlights this year, and a good majority of those defensively. That one missed inside, 2-1. See if this one stays playable. It looks like it will. Kadire with Hudson sliding at his feet. Two outs.
Kadire starting to get more and more comfortable manning that first base position, with Justin Morneau having been lost for the majority of this season. You brought it up earlier. He'll play left, he'll play right, he'll play some third. But he's gotten a lot of playing time over at first and is starting to feel really comfortable over there.
And so now here is Sizemore with 2 away. He has a double to his credit tonight. Strike one.
That double missed by inches of carrying out of the ballpark to right field. He hit a bullet off the wall in right.
Good breaking ball.
He looks like a different guy to me this time around. Did not look healthy. First 6 weeks of the season. Was not playing with a lot of confidence. But he looks different these days.
Swing and a miss. So Manship has an easy inning. His second strikeout. Tigers go 1-2-3, and we go to the 6th. This date in 1974, Al Kaline doubles for hit number 3,000. It was a win over Baltimore, and of course, Mr. Kaline from Baltimore. And what a spot to get his 3,000th hit. It was on this date back in 1974.
That's a lot of hits. That's a lot of knocks.
There's a strike called on the leadoff man, Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe then Span then Hudson here against Verlander. 2-0 Tigers lead on the Cabrera home run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball is in there. A strike called. 1-2 on Plouffe. Swing and a miss, and Verlander carves him up. JV piling up the strikeouts now. That's 8.
Verlander has the kind of curveball here today with some of the hitters that he can basically tell them it's coming, and they would still have a difficult time of putting that ball in play because it has so much depth and break to the pitch.
Here's Denard Span. He hadn't been able to get Span out tonight, though. He has 2 of the 3 Minnesota hits in this game. Span batting .268. Lost this one in the air toward left center field. Rayburn is there, and there are 2 gone. Time for a game break. We go back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. I'm sure he does. Thanks, Mick. 2 outs now, and here is Orlando Hudson. Hudson is 0 for 2. Ground ball and a fly ball. The Yankees gave up a lot of runs last night. They're giving up a lot of runs again here tonight. The 1-0 pitch is a strike.
They have not played their best baseball down the stretch.
Here's the 1-1. On the ground to the shortstop. Broke his bat in the process. Peralta throws him out. Verlander has an easy 1, 2, 3, 6.
Cam, and it's Cabrera with an 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball inside that looked like a ball from the starter Liriano that Cabrera pulled his hands in nicely on And he got it up in that jet stream, blowing out the left field and hit a 2-run shot. And that's the difference in the ball game as we speak. Coors Light freeze can, excuse me, partner. Always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, the extra base hits starting to pile up now, aren't they? Since 45, only Granderson has had more. Pretty good.
No doubt. Very impressive by Cabrera and Ordonez. Those guys didn't run very much. Lots of doubles, lots of homers. Of course, Curtis had lots of triples.
Rayburn leads it off and bounces one back up the middle, the same spot that his base hit went in the fourth to lead things off. So he is 2 for 3. And that'll bring up Cabrera. It really is remarkable the September this guy's having.
And really, he's done a really nice job since the All-Star break in his career. For whatever reason, his best work is done after the All-Star break. But Rayburn, one of those guys that really didn't get a whole lot of playing time at the beginning of the season, but he does later in the season, and he always shows up in a positive way for Jim Leland.
Well, he has again this year. As Cabrera stands in. And he takes ball 1.
And the reason I say he doesn't get a lot of reps, that would be Rayburn in the first half of the season. Your starters are usually healthy coming out of spring training, and the Tigers have had teams where Jim doesn't pinch hit for guys very often. So Rayburn has gotten spotty playing time, and it's hard to stay fresh with spotty playing time at the beginning of the year.
Grounded foul just outside of the bag. A diving try by Valencia. Tinchita was right there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Rayburn came into this one batting .368 in the month of September. He's added 2 more hits tonight, and he was almost on the run, but that one was just foul.
Cabby was looking back at the home plate umpire, asked to say, isn't that your call and not his call?
Throw back.
If the ball goes into foul territory while crossing the bag before it gets to third base, it's the home plate umpire's call. If it's behind the bag, then obviously it's the third base umpire's call.
Now the 1-1. That one was way foul. 1-2 on Cabrera. Tigers had 5 hits, only 3 for the Twins tonight against Verlander. It started out as quite a pitching duel tonight, but Liriano left with an apparent illness after he gave up a 2-run homer to Cabrera, then a walk to Peralta. Rayburn chased back. Manship took over in that 4th inning, got a double play ball. Had a 1-2-3 5th. Driven to left field. Young was playing deep, so he'll play it on 1 hop. Second hit of the game for Cabrera.
Looked like Cabby may have gotten fooled and gotten out in front of this ball and hit it off the end of the bat, but with the wind blowing out as aggressively as it is, Delman Young wisely playing a little deeper than he normally would and can't make that play. 81 at the bottom of the strike zone.
Here's Peralta. Tigers now have 6 hits. Johnny had a base on balls back in the 4th. Would you say going into postseason this year that this Twins team has the best bullpen?
Yankees are pretty good right now, too, with Mariano, and they've got some guys that have sorted themselves out. Wood has been very good. Jabba Chamberlain's been good.
swing and a miss, so 2.
I think they have the most collection of closers, the Minnesota Twins, and their numbers speak very positively as far as having the best. But all those teams that are going into the postseason have good bullpens. Texas, we saw that bullpen's good. We've seen the Rays, they're real good too. Kind of hard to say.
Now the 0-2. Got in on his hands and he pulled it foul down the left field line. No battle for that souvenir. Cabrera, by the way, with his 2 hits tonight, now has a team-leading 50th multi-hit game. And the guy right behind him is Austin Jackson with 49. AJ, perhaps the Rookie of the Year, and Cabrera, perhaps the MVP. One and 2. Saw Papa Grande on the bench there. The Tigers were hoping that he'd be able to throw tonight. As of the afternoon, Jim Leland said he had to check on him, but that was the hope.
Looks like there's no hope tonight.
And down the bullpen right now, and he's got the sweater on, or the sweatshirt. 2-2.
He had an MRI a couple of days ago, and it was negative. Tendinitis is what they diagnosed.
Two on Peralta. A couple of singles to lead off the 6th for Detroit. Back up the middle into center, base hit. Rayburn coming to third. They're going to send him home. Span's throw is cut off. Throw to third is late. It's an RBI hit for Johnny Peralta.
That's some really good base running by Miguel Cabrera. Really good base running. And a bad throw by Span. I have to throw that in there. First and foremost, the ball is whistled up the middle. Span has no shot at throwing Rayburn out at home plate. He just does not have that kind of arm strength. But Cabrera, he saw where the throw went and just ran right in the face of Span. And had Span come up and thrown that ball to third, he gets it out there. He was not going to throw Rayburn out at home plate.
Peralta gets his 75th RBI, 3-0 lead. Still nobody out. Here comes Casper Wells.
Casper needs a patient at bat here.
Bouncing into a double play in his last at bat. He struck out back in the 2nd as well, 0 for 2.
Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Make sure you get something up in the strike zone, which would at least allow you to hit a fly ball deep enough to score Cabrera. No need to panic.
That is a fair ball to third base. Cabrera scores. Here comes Peralta. They're going to wave him home, and now it's been ruled touched down the line, so send Peralta back to third base. Wells will get a double and an RBI. That probably cost the Tigers a run there. Jim Leland arguing perhaps that he would have scored anyway. Wells gets an RBI double.
Much more patient at bat here by Casper after swinging at the first pitch that was down. He basically told himself, you know what, I got to get jammed here. I got to make sure I get a ball that I can hit somewhere aggressively. And he did that, and he ends up with a double and an RBI.
It looks like they're going to give him the second run. Ron Gardenhire is not too happy about this. So Peralta scores as well. And the Tigers lead 5-0. Pitching change for Gardenhire. We'll step aside. We're in the bottom of the 6th. runs scoring on that play. Ron Gardenhire chatting with Tim Timmons about the call on that play.
So what's the ruling? Casper get a triple there?
Well, apparently they're calling it a 3-base hit.
I don't think I've ever seen a ball hit down the left field line like that where a guy gets a triple.
No, and especially since they originally called Peralta back to third base.
And Delman Young had his hands up as soon as the fan touched the ball.
Well,
good for Jim, though.
That's a strange call.
Good for Jim.
Maharis is the new pitcher.
He has missed some time this year, but he is back, and they're hoping that he can get back to top form to help them in the postseason.
Got an ejection now. Ron Gardenhire has just been thrown out of the game, apparently, or maybe one of his coaches. Timmons turned around, looked into the bench, and said, "You're gone." Ron Gardenhire is hot. Here comes Tim Cheater now from the third baseline, and he's going to get an earful. Well, I got to be honest, I don't know how they could give Wells a triple there and score that second run.
That's why he got tossed. He's not happy about it, and he let them know.
So Gardenhire has been ejected.
It has been somewhat of a rough day today for the men in blue out there. Bob Davidson's had a couple of difficult calls that we have had the advantage of looking at on an instant replay that basically showed that he didn't make the right call.
So here is Bosch. Still nobody out in this inning, and the infield in for Minnesota.
But as I said, we have the capabilities of looking at it over and over and over again.
And we can slow it down, speed it up. 0-1 on Bosch. Walking to steal his last time up. And he drives one foul back out of play. 0-2.
Scotty Olger is usually the acting manager for Ron Gardenhire when he does get tossed from a game. We told you earlier that Olger has some experience as a manager in the minor leagues. He will still coach third base, though.
The 0-2 from Maharis. Tigers now have 5 runs, 8 hits. Twins, no runs, 3 hits. And another foul back out of play. High towering fly ball right field, hit well. Revere going back to the edge of the warning track, and that'll get a run in. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Brennan Bosch.
Hey fans, you want to be at Comerica Park this Sunday when the Tigers close out their home schedule with the 105 game against the Twins. Random fans will receive game-worn jerseys as part of the Shirt Off the Back Day. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. That's always a special afternoon when lucky fans get their Tigers jerseys.
Bosch has just picked up his 66th RBI of the year, and it's 6-0 Detroit. Fouled back. 0-2 on Brandon Inge. That is just the first out of this inning. It has been a strange inning indeed. And the 0-2 to Brandon. Missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jose Maharis is the third pitcher used tonight by Minnesota. Swing and a miss. And he takes care of Inge. There are 2 gone down. Maharis has his first strikeout. By the way, did you know that this game is available tonight in crystal clear, stunning high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. Six 0 Tigers. Game 1 in this series against the Central Division champion Twins. Laird fouls it away 0-1. A double and a strikeout in this game for Gerald. Missed it outside. Maharis had a heavy workload out of their bullpen last year, appearing in 71 games.
He had a great year last year. Very valuable member of that bullpen. We told you he missed some time with an injury, but now he is back and healthy. And if he is healthy, he will be on that postseason roster.
He tore his meniscus this year, so he's appeared in just 43 games, and that ball is shot deep into right center field. A lot of room out there, though, and it's caught by Revere to end the inning. Tigers make it a big inning, though. They score 4 times. We go to the 7th. Hits tonight for Minnesota against Verlander. And Justin shooting for his 18th win of the season. If he can hold on here tonight in the lowest home ERA since 80. Verlander's on that list.
He gets busy here at Comerica Park. Tremendous. Tremendous.
Jeff Robinson back in 88. Dan Petrie, Walt Terrell on that list.
All those other guys pitched at Tiger Stadium.
They did. Well, Verlander back to work, and he'll face Kubel to lead it off in the 7th. Kubel, Kadire, and Young. Tigers about hit the opponent tonight, 8-3. Kubel takes ball 1. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Couple of strikeouts against Verlander. (2-0). Kubel came in with pretty good numbers against Verlander too. He was hitting .387 against him career.
He's a good fastball hitter. Kubel is a fastball hitter, and this is a fastball count. But will he get it? He did.
2-1. Fouled away again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another fastball from Verlander.
Part of what makes Verlander good and also Laird as a good game caller is on that 2-0 pitch. Verlander shook off the first sign that was put down by Laird. And if you're a hitter, that tells you, okay, they're not going to throw me a fastball now, because that's a fastball count. And then you get the fastball and you're a little bit late on it. So that's just part of the gamemanship and the game playing with one another that goes on in the big leagues. Sometimes guys will shake 2 or 3 times and go back to the very first pitch just to put some thoughts in the hitter's mind.
Fastball high and outside. 3-2 now on Kubel. There's Kadire waiting on deck. Driven to right field. Wells will get there. Edge of the warning track. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at what Verlander's featuring here tonight. First and foremost, he's not only thrown too many sliders here today, but he does have a strikeout on a slide piece. But the 4-seam fastball, he's thrown that at 95, 96. He's elevated it. But here's what I was talking about earlier, the seamless curveball that he throws. He doesn't hold it with any seams whatsoever, but he gets tremendous movement with this pitch and downward break to the point that it's an unhittable pitch for him.
And he pretty much has been tonight. Here's Michael Kadire.
Verlander showed us all those grips of the 4 pitches that he throws way back in Lakeland in February. And I guess he hasn't changed since then.
No, and he has a chance to win number 18 tonight.
If he ever has a good April, he will win 20 games a year, because he's pretty good once the calendar turns to May.
0-2 on Kadire.
And it seems like for me, last 8-10 starts, he's getting stronger. Where most guys are starting to tire, he's getting stronger these days.
Well, his last 3 starts, a complete game, 8 innings, 7 innings. Ground ball to short. Right at Peralta. 2 gone.
Take a look at the readings on Verlander, courtesy of Comcast. 97 the high with the fastball, 77 the low, 20-mile-per-hour differential. That's what separates him. But what else separates Verlander? And he's no different from most pitchers. You see him on the mound today, but those next 3 days, he is working out like an animal, getting ready for this next start.
That's, I guess, one thing we don't really pay attention to or think about pitchers, what they do in the days between starts.
He is just an animal and works out very, very hard in between starts.
Leaving a miss. 0-2 on Young. He's just flat out in a groove right now. He has thrown 90 pitches in this game.
Curveball he's been featuring lately is the best curveball I've seen Verlander with in the 5 years I've watched him.
Bouncing ball, third base side, deep behind the bag. Brandon in. 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander, cruising through the 7th. Will go to the stretch. 6-0. since 2006 through this 2010 regular season, Verlander is on this list of top pitchers.
Pretty impressive list. Roy Halladay has already won a Cy Young, as has CC Sabathia, and they both might win Cy Youngs this year in their respective leagues. Johan Santana's won a couple of Cy Youngs himself, so that's good company there for Verlander.
Meanwhile, Verlander tonight has given up just 3 hits through 7 innings of work and no runs.
You got anybody else other than CC Sabathia winning the Cy Young in the American League?
I do. I think if you look at the secondary numbers of Felix Hernandez.
Would you really go that route?
I think I would.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. I know the wins. As we look at the numbers on Alex Burnett, I think the wins certainly are impressive for CC, but boy, a lot of the other numbers. I mean, if you look at them,
even if he finishes 12 and 13,
well, I mean, that may happen, but he is that impressive, and I just don't know that you can penalize him for being on a bad offensive team.
Boy, oh boy, that would be history making.
We'll see. Austin Jackson leading it off. It's rolled foul, no balls and 2 strikes.
How about Halladay in the National League?
He's 120, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
CC's 120. You know, David Price will be in that thing in the American League as well. He's been very good.
I go CC, though. I get your point, though, for Hernandez. I really do. But I don't know how I could give it to a guy with 12 wins, though.
Wave and a miss. Well, best ERA in the league for Felix.
Yep.
Most games started, most innings pitched,
Yep.
most strikeouts.
Yeah.
6 complete games.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Tigers fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell the tickets to the games you can make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com. Choose your seats today.
I will say that that's been a really hot topic of debate today, whether Hernandez is worthy of that Cy Young award or not.
What is everybody else saying? What have you?
Oh, no. There's some people that they're right there with you.
Yeah.
There are some people that are right there with you.
It'll be fun. I mean, that's one of the great things about the offseason. Baseball does a great job of kind of spacing out their awards. They keep baseball in the news all year long. Of course, with the playoffs as well. Sizemore looks at a ball down low, 1-1.
Just to validate your point on Hernandez, he lost the game yesterday 1-0, and the only run he gave up was the 50th home run to Bautista.
Well, we'll see. The 1-1 pitch. I mean, CC's no slouch, don't get me wrong. And he's won 20 games. But it's been quite a year for a guy that has had no offensive support in Felix Hernandez. 2-1 on Sizemore. And now make it 3-1. Rayburn waiting on deck. And there's a walk. Well, what do you think? Here are your candidates.
There's Price. Outstanding earned run average is very good. Lester. Pavano on that list. And Felix at the bottom. But we should have a photo of him.
All he gets a little line at the bottom.
Yeah, we did.
It's no respect from us either. Ryan Rayburn, the batter. That would be something, though, if a guy wins the Cy Young with a record at or below 500.
Well, didn't Zach get it last year at 16, and that was the lowest number of victories for a guy to ever get the Cy Young, right?
Yeah, but he was still well over 500, though.
He was 16-8.
0-2 on Rayburn. Well, Ryan Rayburn, 2 more hits, couple of singles, couple of runs scored. Rayburn is now up to 277. And the 0-2. Burnett is the new pitcher here in the 7th following Maharis. They've had Manship. They've had Liriano. Liriano had to leave early in this game. He was lifted in the 4th inning. He was feeling ill, and so was the shortstop Alexi Casilla. He also came out at the same time, so perhaps they had lunch together somewhere. And it didn't agree with him. Here's the 1-2. There's activity in the bullpen. Pat Neshek and Randy Flores.
There's a Neshek sighting.
The unmistakable delivery of Neshek. Swing and a miss. So Burnett gets his second strikeout. That's going to bring up Cabrera. Well, it's looking more and more like Cabrera is kind of zeroing in on that award.
Yeah, Hamilton's not playing right now. A lot of people had Hamilton winning that award before he went down with that latest injury, but the other guys have had great years too. Cano, Bautista, Paul Konerko. Delman Young of this Minnesota Twins team will get some MVP votes as well.
I was reading an article from a Boston writer that said Adrian Beltre should win the MVP.
Adrian Beltre has had a really good year. I don't know if he should get the MVP, but he has had a very good offensive season.
But the tone of the article was that it wasn't close.
Really?
Which kind of makes you wonder. 2-0. Cabrera, 2-run homer, a single 2-run score. And Burnett's 2-0 pitch. Check to swing, foul. 2-1. .175 hits now for Cabrera to lead the team. And he shoots that one the other way into right field. Another hit. Sizemore cruising to second and stopping there. 3-hit game for Miguel Cabrera.
Cabrera is not giving away any at-bats whatsoever these days, and he will simply tell you, I don't go up there and look to hit home runs. I simply look to try to drive in runs. Great balance all the time, although he does have to reach for this ball, but he inside out to pass a very good, and I mean very good second baseman in Orlando Hudson.
It's the 11th time this year that Cabrera has had a 3-hit game. And Tigers looking to add to their 6-0 lead here with 2 outs in the 7th. Peralta.
Well, one of the reasons why he's so good is he goes that way with authority. And he's done it 43 times, and he also has about 10, 11 home runs to right field. But when you come inside, he's able to pull it. Just uses the entire baseball field, and he has a whole lot of talent. A lot of talent. Just don't mess him up, Lloyd.
Stay out of his way?
Yeah, don't even talk to him. You don't even have to talk to him. Yes, you do. And even guys like Cabrera go into little stretches where they don't perform very well and lack a little confidence. So all the coaches do wonderful work.
Well, that's what Lloyd was saying when Bosch was so hot early in the year. I'm just staying out of his way. But then eventually, even with the best hitters, the hitting coach usually becomes a factor.
Yeah, Bosch went from having no one talking to him to everybody talking to him.
Yep.
Myself included.
Now the 2-0. High, towering fly ball left field. Delman Young going back to the track, to the wall, and it's gone. Johnny Peralta, 3-run homer. And the Tigers are pouring it on.
All you really have to do today, and when you hit the ball to left field, is get underneath it and elevate the baseball with a little bit of authority, and that's exactly what Peralta does here. And Delman watched it fly bye-bye into his team's bullpen.
9 runs on 10 hits for Detroit, and for Johnny Peralta, his 15th home run.
It seemed like the trade to the Tigers kind of energized Johnny. He was not performing all that well this year in Cleveland, but once being traded to the Tigers right at the end of July, he has done very, very well.
It's a 4 RBI night for Peralta, which gives him now 31 RBIs in his last 35 for the Tigers.
That's why he's interesting. Jim Leyland has said on many occasions, give me that guy that can drive runs in from first base. Not just second base, but give me the guy that can hit some gappers and find the seats and drive in runs with the base runners standing on first. And Peralta's been that guy.
Casper Wells, the batter. 2-run triple in his last at bat. 9-0 Detroit. Two and one on Wells. And Peralta and Cabrera with homers tonight for Detroit.
Everybody's all smiles down there tonight. Even Verlander's smiling, and that is rare on days that he pitches.
Yeah, especially Verlander, who is zeroing in on his 18th win.
He has usually got that scowl on his face until he is taken out of the game.
Two and two on Casper Wells. Driven deep to left field. This one is hit way back, and forget about this one. It's gone. Casper Wells put a charge into that ball and cleared the bullpen.
That one needed no help from the wind. That was killed.
Well, I can't wait to get the distance on this one.
A little hanging breaking ball here from Burnett, and he got out in front of it. Even though the body was out in front, look at the hands. They stayed back. And you could still generate some power if the hands stay back, and he was able to generate some power.
So Casper now has 3 RBIs. And Scott Alger slowly walking out to the mound. And bringing the hook with him. Pitching change. We step aside. All Tigers tonight.
In his second tour of duty up here is the fact that this back leg right here, this back foot I'm talking about, he doesn't really lift and pivot like most guys do, which allows you to rotate your hips. He simply gets there and it comes off the ground a little bit, but look where it ends up at. I mean, that helps you keep that hip locked and loaded, and when that hip stays locked and loaded, it keeps you in the proper direction to do some damage, and that's exactly what Casper did on that little hanging breaking ball. Only a couple of other guys. I think Jim Tomey's one of those guys that keeps his foot on the ground like that. Carlos Quentin's another guy that does that. Only a few guys do not pivot the most traditional way that we tell hitters to switch the bug or whatever we tell guys to do.
So Burnett is out, and they go back to the bullpen now, and this will be Randy Flores to face Brendan Bosch. By the way, that home run by Wells, 415 feet worth beyond the bullpen. Flores appearing in his 9th game, and he will face Johnny Damon. Damon at 267, hitting for Bosch. And he pulls this one to right field, base hit. Maybe more. Let's see. Johnny takes the turn, going for 2. And he's in there standing up. Tigers pouring it on now.
Johnny Damon must have been on the on-deck circle, and he was getting ready to hit for Brendan Bosch, I guess, anywhere or something, wasn't he? Or I guess I really don't know.
I don't know.
But he pushed the right button, did the skipper.
Here's Brandon Inge. It's 12 Tigers hits now. Way to move his feet as Inge skips out of the way, 1-0.
You don't think Brennan went to eat lunch with Casilla and Liriano, do you?
I hope not. Hope he's not feeling ill. By the way, we have not confirmed that Casilla and Liriano had lunch together. That was just speculation. Since they both left this game feeling ill. Only 3 hits tonight for the Twins, 12 big ones for Detroit. The 1-0. Angel for 3 in this one. Flores, Burnett, Maharis, and Manship have all thrown out of the bullpen for Minnesota. Popped him up. Right side of the infield for Hudson. And that will end a 4-run inning for Detroit. You are watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Tigers in this one, 10-0. Cabrera, 2-run shot, is 36th of the year. Peralta and Wells also with home runs. They came in the 7th back-to-back. And Verlander has crossed the 200 strikeout plateau again for the 2nd consecutive year. He's had a big game tonight.
Also back-to-back dominant performances by Verlander. He was dominant against the Chicago White Sox last week when the ball club was in Chicago, and he has come out here against the division champs, and he has dominated a real good offense.
Danny Valencia leads it off as Verlander answers the bell here. He is at 91 pitches as we go to the 8th inning. Valencia, then Morales, and then Revere. Danny 0 for 2 tonight. One of the reasons I think the Twins have been able to weather all the injuries they've had as the guys that have come up from their AAA team that have done a really good job, and Valencia is one of those guys.
Yeah, he was a guy that wasn't, I guess, counted on this heavily to produce, but he's done nice work. 5 homers, 35 driven in. He's gotten big hits, too.
Hitting well over 300. But only 3 hits tonight against Verlander. Chase there, and down he goes. It's going to be 9 strikeouts now for Justin. Huh. Well, there's a total of 9 there. I think they're hard to count. Here's Morales.
It's good to see Tigers fans still having a whole lot of fun coming to the ballpark. It is quite an experience down here. In the next couple of days, the final 2 days of the 2010 season here at Comerica Park should be fun days as well.
Here's the 1-0 to Morales. 1 ball, 1 strike. Morales has struck out twice, 2 of the 9 that Verlander has picked up. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Verlander's season high is 11 strikeouts. His career high is 13. Did that last year against Texas. And the 2-1. Bouncing ball right side. Cabrera goes over to make the play. Plenty of time. 2 gone. Here's Ben Revere. Singled and then was picked off. He was back in the 5th inning. Strike 1 on Revere. Twins minor league player of the year in 08 and 09. He was called up from AA in September. 0-2, and Verlander now has reached 100 pitches.
They had a little bit of a shot back in the first where he needed 18 to get through that inning with a runner on first base, but since then, no chance tonight for Minnesota.
1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Got on his hands and he fouled it back. Bonderman and Pavano tomorrow. And then Porcello and Dunsing on Sunday. The 1-2 is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. And for the 11th time in franchise history, the Tigers staff has struck out 1,000 hitters in a single season. That is number 10 for Verlander. Wallside Windows. For a free in-home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. And by Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Got some changes now for Minnesota. Matt Tolbert is the new second baseman. Pat Neshek is the new pitcher.
Only the 9th game of this season for Neshek at this level. The earned run average a shade over 4.
Driven to left field, and that is down, a base hit. Young cuts it off, and Gerald Laird has another hit. His second of the night. Tigers had 13 hits this evening.
Jackson needs one. He is 0 for 4 tonight.
All right, then he'll get one. This, by the way, coming against a pitching staff that had an ERA of 3.74, second best in the league. Did you realize that Oakland had the best ERA?
I've seen that periodically. I know they've had an outstanding year out there.
That kind of surprised me. I know they were pretty good, but best in the American League.
Kurt Young, their pitching coach, is a real good one.
That's in the air to center, routine play for Span. One out.
Yeah, there's a couple of good pitching coaches around baseball that do not get the notoriety that they should get, and Kurt is one of those guys. Does very nice work out in Oakland with a young, real young pitching staff.
Yeah, it seems like it's young every year. Well, Max St. Pierre is going to get an at-bat here for Scott Sizemore. St. Pierre's got those fancy bright yellow hitting gloves that are padded as well to protect your wrist and your hand.
I was asking him about those gloves a couple days ago, and he said, "You know what, Rod? They're free."
That's exactly what he told me. I said, "What's with the gloves?"
He said, "They're free. They're free." He said, "They're not pretty, but they are free.
They could be pink with polka dots,
and I'll take 3.
Doesn't matter." Here's the 1-0. 1-1. Think St. Pierre might get another start before the end of the season?
He might get another start.
It'd be nice.
Jim seems to pick certain spots as to, getting these kids in games, and I would not be shocked to see Max get one more start behind that dish.
Into the glove for strike 2.
I think Jim has a real good passion for players like Max St. Pierre, and he goes all the way back to his Pittsburgh days, where guys that told in the minors for a long time and weren't necessarily thought of that highly. He finds a way to get some of those guys at bats in the big leagues. He's done it every single year.
Of course, so you know St. Pierre's story by now, well documented, all the years he spent in the minor leagues, and just never really was able to take off and get to the big leagues until this year.
I go back to that 2006 season when the Tigers went all the way to the World Series. Jim kept Bobby C.
High fly ball, left field. Going to stay in the park, though, as Delman Young gets there.
And also Marcus Timms on the roster the entire year. He didn't say anything about it during the course of the year, but he said one of his goals going into that 2006 season, I want to keep Bobby C in the big leagues, and I want to give Marcus Timms a chance to play in the big leagues all year. And both guys went on to have nice careers here in Detroit.
2 outs now. Here's Rayburn. It's a 2-hit night for Rayburn.
Where do you think Rayburn would be right now if it wasn't for Jim?
Good point.
With 16 RBIs the first half of the year.
Real good point.
You need that skipper in your corner.
Waving a miss, 1-1. Don Kelly has moved to the on-deck circle if the inning continues. He would bat for Cabrera. Here's the 1-1 from Neshek. Well, we talk about it oftentimes. You just don't see this arm angle all that often, and Neshek can be a challenge for right-handed batters.
Well, especially from a right-handed pitcher. Left-handers, you see it a little bit more frequently, but not many right-handers drop down to this sidearm angle.
Off the end of the bat, slowly toward third. Valencia will barehand it and make a whale of a play to get the runner at first base.
Nice stretch by Kadire at first as well.
So we go to the ninth. 10-zip. He does indeed, Mick. Thank you very much. Last call for the Minnesota Twins as we go to the ninth inning. Oh, Detroit tonight, 10-0 lead. We have some defensive changes. Will Rhymes will enter the game and play second base. Don Kelly will replace Cabrera at first base. And Verlander 8 strong tonight without a walk. Dominant. And the first man to face him is Trevor Plouffe, who takes ball one. Verlander going for his 4th complete game. Popped him up. First base side, Kelly will be tested right away. One gone. It's 10 straight that Verlander is retired. He had a stretch earlier in the game of retiring 8 straight. 10 strikeouts tonight for Justin. The 4th time he's done that this season. 10 or more. Span has 2 of the 3 Minnesota hits tonight, both singles. Strike one.
He's their catalyst. Usually when he's doing well, the Minnesota Twins are playing good baseball. Not the case here tonight.
There really haven't been any occasions here tonight where the Twins were threatening all that much. They got Span to second base with 2 outs in the 3rd after he swiped a bag. And that's really about it. Tipped at home plate. 2-2. Scherzer and Verlander pitching the last 2 nights. They have combined to give up just 5 hits. And that going into next season appears to be your 1-2 combination. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball chopped slowly back up the middle. Peralta charging, throws high, safe.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Tigers at Tigers.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team merchandise, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop.
Peralta has been given an error on that play. 1-on-1 out. Tolbert gets his first at bat of the game. And he looks at a strike right at the knees. Tolbert batting .250. Fouled straight back 0-2. Tolbert had his biggest game of the season back on the 4th of September against Texas. Had 2 triples and knocked in 5 in that game. The 0-2 is outside, 1-2.
Verlander 114 pitches into this game, still throwing in the mid to upper 90s. That last pitch 95. The pitch previous to that 96 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss, and Tolbert is out of there. 11 strikeouts now for Verlander. Two gone. Verlander has struck out 11 3 times. He also has a 10 strikeout game. There's Kubel. So he can establish a season high if he strikes out Kubel here. The 1-0 is inside. 2 balls, no strikes. 30,000 plus on their feet right now, looking for the final out and for a complete game out of Verlander. It would be his 4th.
If he throws a fastball here, he needs to make sure that he locates it. Kubel's got the kind of power to hit it out of here.
And a bouncing ball up the middle. Rhymes to a knee. Throws off the bag. Kelly couldn't stay on.
Will had much more time than he thought he had.
So that is just the 4th hit of the game now for Minnesota.
With Kubel running, once Rhymes gets to this ball, he still has enough time to really get up and make a better throw, but he just gets up so quickly, and while transferring the ball to the throwing hand, it just makes a bad throw.
3 of the 4 hits they've had tonight have been infield hits. There's a bouncer back up the middle, and it's going to get into center field, a base hit. That'll get a run in and spoil the shutout for Verlander. 10-1 ball game. So that's 119 pitches now, and Weinhardt throwing in the bullpen.
Speaking of Weinhardt, I told him I would say hello to his grandparents, Bob and Jill Weinhardt. He told me Jill was a little under the weather. So I apologize for just getting to you, but I'm getting a little older and I forget things sometimes, Jill.
But you got to get under the wire. That's okay.
And we got a shot of him, too.
That's
so
right. Even better.
The grandparents got a chance to see him. And Jill and Bob, I hope you're still up.
Well, Delvin Young is up there now. 2 hits and an error in this inning, and the Twins get a run in. And a ball down low. 2-0 now on Young. So Verlander's shutout is gone, but he can still get a complete game here. And it would have been Justin's first shutout of the year.
That's too bad. It really is, but that's baseball. Justin will take the win.
Shattered his bat and it's rolled foul. Boy, he has the handle in his hands and the barrel went back to the on-deck circle.
That was an angry fastball by Verlander.
And the bat paid for it.
Oh my goodness. Get off me, ball. All he could do is laugh about it too. Been there, done that. Everybody else is laughing at you too.
2-1. Inside again. Now it's 3-1.
And if he loses Delman, more than likely Jim will go get him.
Yep. You don't want to take him out, but he's at 123 pitches now. 2 on, 2 out. 10-1. Tigers lead. We're in the 9th. Fly ball. Right field. Should do it. And it does. A complete game victory for Justin Verlander, who was dominant tonight. 11 strikeouts for Verlander. And his 4th complete game of the season, number 10 in his career. So the Tigers take game 1 of this weekend series. There's the final score. Back with more in a moment.